Hello everyone, this is a video about the shoe mending machine that Amazon sells. They sell these for about $100. I got mine on sale for $98. It does come with instruction manual, as you can see here. I don't have real good eyes and it is difficult at best to read, but it does have some troubleshooting thoughts on the back. Again, I think you're better off spending your time on YouTube looking for people that have been there, done that, because it isn't intuitive, and some of the terms they use are not intuitive at all. When you get the machine, it will come partially disassembled. It's not a lot of assembly. This wheel will be off. This handle will be off. It's just a matter of tightening this up. There is a keyway, so this goes on correctly for cranking. You will also have to make sure that when you put it together that you make sure these cam followers, there's bearings here, and there's another one down here at the bottom I can't see as well. They need to fall into these cam paths. This will be in the outside cam path, and then will be the inside cam path. Again, not real difficult to do, but it is important, essential for the proper function of the machine. Those cams do two things. One causes the main needle stitching arm to move up and down, and the other one causes the foot arm to move up and down. Now when the machine comes, these are pretty tight right here, and some people have noted that they have trouble. Their machine is clunky because it's tight. I put a washer back here. This one was a little more complicated to take apart, and it doesn't move very much. It has a very slight movement. So I just used lubricant in the lubricating hole and left that one alone. If you need to, you can adjust the cams that actuate these as these rotate. They can move in and out a little bit on this. Mine are hitting in the right places, so I didn't need to do that. Another point of adjustment is my machine came kind of coated in a grease, a dirty grease. This piece right here was very cruddy and rusty. Not sure, you can see the chrome plating ends right here. And so I had to take steel wool and 800 grit sandpaper to this, and I used 3-in-1 oil, which is used all over this machine, as I'll talk about here in a moment, to kind of smooth that out. That's well worth taking your time to do. This is pretty tough to move right here, but that helped a lot. I also had to file down this screw tip a little bit. You don't want anything grippy or pokey here because it will cause you to have trouble moving leather goods across it, and it could scratch your leather goods. This bobbin right here will also be pretty rough when you get your machine. Let's see if I can get this out of here. This is a key component of the machine as well. You have the bobbin, and you have the seat. This moves back and forth like this, and that causes the loop hook that causes the upper thread to pull up thread from the bottom, which causes your stitching. As you can see, there's 2 holes. There's also 2 holes here. When it comes through, this provides tension for your lower stitches. Now in my came, I was using this first hole and just coming up through the other first hole, and what I was getting was a lack of tension on the bottom bobbin, and that causes your stitches to be weak. I have proper tension, as we'll talk about in a second, from the top, but if the tension on the bottom is improper, the thread does not pull up correctly, and it doesn't give you that cinching effect that stitching is supposed to give you. So it's maybe difficult to see here, but there is also a metal clip that comes across here that also provides tension. So I'm coming in the first hole and coming up through the second hole. That gives me a little more tension, and I think is a little more functional for what I'm doing. If you notice, there is a cam right here. As I move the machine, you'll see how that goes back and forth. That also provides the stitching function. When this machine is needle up, like it is now, this is in the 12 o'clock position. This needs to be in the 12 o'clock position if you're looking at it from the straight on, or in line with the stitching bar. It needs to be right here, and that's when you take your bobbin and you drop it in. Sorry, I got it upside down. You drop it in, and it will be moved by back and forth by this cam. When you first install it, it's dropped down over here. You close this up, and when you have this threaded, it will reach down, bring a loop up, and you can pull that out. There are a lot of videos on that as well. So I won't bother getting into that for you. But my point here is the key maintenance and setup issues that can cause you problems. This is adjustment right here for the length of the stitch. It causes the foot bar to move a shorter distance. So adjusting that will make your stitches shorter. This is an adjustment for the tension on that on the foot bar. Mine was misadjusted right here. This is the needle tube. I'm going to guess that where this is currently set is probably pretty much where you want to be. I think that's about, what, 3 millimeters. When I got mine, it was about 1/2 inch up. And what it causes is the needle does not come all the way down. When you crank it, the needle will plunge into the setting here, and you should be able to actually feel, there's a hole down here, you should be able to feel the needle coming through there. Don't poke yourself. But so on the needle is comprised of loosening this. This is awkward. I'll tell you that ahead of time. Sorry for the shakiness. It is awkward. The needle has a flat spot on it that should touch against the bar, and you have to kind of push the needle up the best you can to hold it in place, and then drop this down on it and tighten it up. Again, not very easy to do. It's likely when you get your machine, they do a quick test at the factory, and they normally bend or break these needles because they're just buzzing along. Your needle, when it's properly installed, will not, of course, impact anything. As you can see, it's just cleanly going up and down through that hole. The proper turning is clockwise on this. And you can see mine, there's a little squeak, it's just a knob squeaking, but mine moves pretty smoothly. When you get yours, it's gonna go clunk, clunk, clunk. It's not gonna be as smooth. This is your tension settings for the thread. Mine is odd. It has a horizontal feed hole to this. Most of the ones I've seen mine's horizontal. Most of them are vertical. They kind of come down through here. It comes over from the spindle, the spoolie. I wrap around this, not wrap, but hook it around that and then come through. I added a spacer, a fender washer here, so my bobbin, my thread sits up above the main frame of the machine. It does kind of flop around, but it still moves freely enough. And then I did adjust this. This was kind of laid over like that. It was causing a little more tension. I get quite a bit of tension coming through the top spools. You could adjust this. I typically am just running it with one tensioner. If you had a really small thread, you might need to use both. But mine are very, loosened up quite a bit, and I still have significant tension coming from the thread. And then, of course, I don't have mine threaded at the moment because I'm showing you all these things. But the thread will come down. There's a hook, wire hook that you shove up there, grab the thread and pull it down. And it comes out right here. And then you need to put it back through the hole in the needle. But once you get this cleaned up and make some adjustments, like I said, 3-in-1 oil in this hole. I added a washer here to get better function, give me a little more space, because otherwise there's a lot of rubbing. I put 3-in-1 oil in these cam traces. You could use some light grease, axle grease or something like that if you wanted to, but at this point I'm just using 3-in-1 oil there. These lifters or cams, I oiled these. I oiled the surfaces where they impact the two motion bars, and I also oiled this shaft. I oiled here. Get some oil down there. Of course, you have a hole where you can oil that here. This does sort of move against the frame, so putting some drops of oil down there is not a bad idea. A lot of people lubricate with something heavier than 3-in-1 oil. They lubricate this needle bar. Not really sure what's in here, to be honest with you, but I know this thing moves very carefully through that. So I'm using 3-in-1 oil, and it seems okay with me, but I know other people I've seen videos where they use a grease, if you will. But everything else should be fine, I guess, cleaning this up. But just be patient with it. When you first get it, you're gonna be like, holy cow, this thing is janky, chintzy made, but it does take some movement. Oh, and this is the cam that rotates the spindle. Oil. I put oil in this cam path here, as you can see that that moves as well. But it doesn't take a lot of motion. My mount, you're going to see 100 different versions of this. I have a bigger board here because I was planning on maybe in the future electrifying this, but I really don't think I'm going to now because it's kind of, you really have a lot of control. You can very gently and very carefully move stitch by stitch, and so a motor is going to take that away from me. But you know, it comes with a mechanical stand. Just throw it in the garbage or whatever, you know, keep it for scrap parts or whatever, because it's ridiculous. It's not going to work for you at all. So there's 2 bolts that go in and down into this piece of wood. There's one here. Let me see. There's one right here. All you need is for this wheel to be lifted up off the table so you can crank it. Keeping it, I don't have anything right here. You'll see a lot of people put something right here because I anticipate that I might have to thread something onto this to do a stitch. And really, the way that we have it mounted, it's really pretty solid. But this is just essential. You're not going to be able to use this machine without mounting it like this. So I hope this video is helpful for you. Again, there are tons of videos about how to thread this machine. It comes threaded. If you take a moment to look at it, you'll see exactly how it is threaded. It's not complicated. You know, from the spindle through the hole, you got these 2 loops. It goes between them, goes around, goes back in between them, then comes out. You want to come up here, you go up, around, down around this, back through this. Then you're going to come across to this this spring hole up through there. You can go through here, around here. I made sure this was smooth right here, and I go around it. You're going to go through this little lifter arm, and then you're going to go straight down. You're going to go straight down the needle drive hole. And again, the way to get that is the machine will come with a spring wire that comes up. It has a little hook in it. You can grab your thread and pull it straight back down. And then of course you have to do, for me at my age lately, you have to thread. So we can see you got to thread that needle. So the needles that come in the machine, they will thread straight back. Then when you pull them down, and then a couple cranks of this, and it will pull up the wire that's in it, and then it'll pull this wire through. You just need to sort of grab it and then pull it out this way, and you can clip it off, and you'll be ready to start. Again, there are a lot of videos that show how to do that. So I hope this was helpful to you, and feel free to ask questions in the comments below. Thanks.